Do you know, I know it's all about the finding the love and the light and the bliss and the joy, and I love being in all of those. I've just come to realise that, gosh, there is something so all cat incoming, something very special about being with somebody and having that connection when they're comforting you or you're comforting them, and you're seeing each other, like you're really seeing each other, and you feel like you're either holding space for somebody or they're holding space for you. There's something so deeply special about that, and it's a real privilege, whichever side of it you're on. And I think we underestimate the value of being in the darkness, of being in the shadows, exploring those aspects of ourselves where the wounds are. It's where the difficulties are, where the growth can happen, where there's these little pockets of potential for learning and healing. And there's something, I don't know what this makes me, but I really appreciate the relief and the revelation of coming out of a dark patch, of moving through a shadow, of figuring out something and feeling this lift of, oh, that's gone now, or I've cleared that, or I've understood this differently, or I've got a new perspective and I've got a new skill. And I see this all the time in clients and in friends, and just this, it's underrated, this little bit of alchemizing that pain, bringing out the light through it. And I just think it's all part of our expansion, and I'm just in a real appreciation of it, because I think the emotions are, I don't know, it's like, of course we love to be in the arena with the bliss and the euphoria and the appreciation and the gratitude, and we can dance with it and we can be immersed in it, and because it's just so lovely and luxurious, and it feels so pleasurable that why would we not just dive right in? And then of course we're still diving in when we're having those more uncomfortable emotional experiences, particularly things like guilt, shame, even just frustration, overwhelm, anything on that side of the spectrum. And I think it would be so good if we learned that we can actually take a ringside seat at this point, and we can just look in. And we can observe these emotions. We don't have to necessarily dance in them and be completely suffocated by them. Of course, sometimes you just can't get away from that. You've just got to surrender and be in it. And I think still there's value in that. But there's a point at which you can come away just enough to say, I'm going to observe this with curiosity, with intrigue, with love, with compassion, with nurture. And I'm going to tend to myself, and I'm going to notice what's there. And I'm going to let it be with me if it needs to be with me, and ask to learn from it. And what's it telling me? What insight is it giving me? What intel am I getting from this frustration, or this knot in my stomach, this anxiety, this sense that I'm hearing a lot of people talk about feeling lost, like they're not themselves. They don't feel like they're speaking their truth, or they're just not quite sure how they've got where they are. It just doesn't feel like them. And I don't think you're lost. I think you're on the verge of finding yourself in a way that you've never known yourself before. It's like when you're really in the trenches of that darkness, and you get so swamped that all you can do is just, let's say if you're stranded in the sea and you've just got to float, you've just got to get on your back and float and do what you can to survive. Sometimes there's just this sense of, okay, I'm going to have to just let go and be in this, and then I'm going to start to bring in an understanding of, this is where I unveil the next layer of me. This is where I'm pulling away some of that shadow so that the light can pour through in places where it never has done before. This is my opportunity to really come home to myself, and the discomfort that I'm feeling, the discord, is not me saying I'm lost. This is me saying I'm getting the feeling of being lost because there's something so ready to be found, so ready to be discovered and unleashed and set free. And as you move into that, and it can take weeks, months, years, it's an ongoing process, but as you are moving into that and allowing it and inviting it, working with it, learning alongside it, you get this burst of like, oh, wow, I've really come through this. And people come through and they shine and they're radiant and they're full of joy and well-being. And of course we don't stay there. Of course we dip and dive all the time. But again, that's the joy of it, isn't it? That's how we roll. And every time we go back into that dip, we've acquired a few more skills to cope with it so that we don't feel like we're suffering quite as much. And we know that this is the precursor to something that I've probably asked for, something I'm ready to emerge into, something I want to birth, something I want to let go of, or something I want to shift into. So, yes, just having some appreciation today for all those different types of feelings and all the experiences that we can have emotionally and tangibly in connection with ourselves and with others. So just sending a lot of love and hope that message was helpful.